Welcome back, guys. In the last lecture we have discussed about the inline styling in React.js. Now in this video we are going to discuss about local styling. Means how can we create a separate style sheet for every component. In the last lecture we have added the inline styling, means we are added the style in this h1. So now in this video we are going to add separate style sheet for this app.js component. So here app.js component is the default component. We need not to create it. We will get it by the default whenever you create a new React application. As like the component, we will also get the style sheet for the app.js component, that is app.css. So this is the style sheet which is related to the app.js component. So if you want to add any styling for these elements in app.js, we should add that styling in app.css. So suppose we have an h1 element in app.js component. So if you want to add any styling for this h1 element, we can add the styling in app.css. So I will add the styling for this h1 in the app.css. So let's open app.css file. So if you observe here, there is something default styling in the app.css. So it will get by the default when you create a new React application. So we need not to edit anything in this. We just write the separate styling for the h1. So first I will create the h1 and I will add the color to red. So the default color for h1 text is black. Now we are changing the color from black to red. So now I will enter Ctrl S. Now let's see the output. Here you can see the color is changed from black to red. So if you observe the app.js, there is only one h1 text in the app.js file, that is CSS in React. So if you want to add one more h1 text also, you can add it. So that color will also be changed to the black red color only. Sorry. So here I will add one more h1 text. This is second h1 text. So here we have not added any inline styling for these both h1 text, but we have added styling in the separate local style sheet for the app.js. That style sheet name is app.css. Here you can see we have added the styling using the tag name. The tag name is h1. Now let's see the output. Here you can see the both h1 texts are changed from black color to red color. So like this way we can add the styling using the tag names in local styling. So in traditional HTML and JavaScript, we will use the class names and ID names for adding styling. So now let's see how to add the class names in React.js. So here we have the two h1 texts. Now I will add the class names for these both h1 texts. So to add the class name, we have to write class name. So here the N is capital and the remaining letters are small. When it comes to the traditional HTML, we have to write only class, but when it comes to React, we have to write the class name. This is the syntax for writing classes in React.js. So after class name, we have to use the equal to operator. After equal to, you have to use the single colons or double colons, whatever it may be. So in this we have to write the class name for this h1. So here I will write the class name as fh1, means first h1 tag. So I will write the class name for the second h1 tag is sh1. Sorry. Class name equal to sh1. So fh1 is the class name for the first h1 tag. sh1 is the class name for the second h1 tag. Now we will add the styling for this h1 tag using these class names. So I'll enter Ctrl S. Now we will add styling in the app.css. So I will remove this h1 tag. Now we will access the class names using the dot operator. Dot fh1. Now we can add the styling. So I will add the background color first. Background color is equal to green. Now let's see the output. Here you can see we got the background color for the first h1 text green. So we have added only background color to the first h1 text. We haven't added the background color to the second h1 text. So if you want to add the background color to the second h1, we have to use the class name sh1. So to use the class name in CSS, we have to use the dot operator sh1. So I will add the background color as yellow. Because we have added the green color to the first h1, now I am adding the green color to the second h1 tag. I'll press Ctrl S. Now let's go back to the Google Chrome. Here you can see the yellow background color is added to the second H1 text and green background color is added to the first H1 text. So like this way we can add the local styling using the class names in React.js. So whenever you are adding the local styling in React.js, you have to import the CSS style sheet in the related component. Here the app.css is the style sheet related to the app.js. So in the app.js, you have to import that style sheet. So here you can see the import statement, import app.css. So if you remove this statement, the styling will not be applied to the app.js component. So here I have removed this, I am pressing Ctrl S. Now let's see the output. Here you can see there is no styling for the HTML elements in the app.js because we have not imported the local style sheet. So if you import the local style sheet only, then the styling will be applied to the related component. So I will write this back. I'll press Ctrl S. Now let's see the output. Here you can see our output is back. The both texts are came. The first text background color is green and the second H1 text background color is yellow. Now I will show you how to add the styling for the second component. Means up to now we have added the styling for the app.js component only. Now I will show you how to add the styling for the newly created component. So I will create a new component in the source folder. So here I will create a new component with the name second.js. Because we are going to create the second component, app.js is the first component. So here I will create the functional component, import React from React. After importing, we have to write the function followed by the function name. So here the function name is second only. Parenthesis, in this we have to return the HTML content. I will return the div. In this div I will return one h1 tag with the text, this is second component. Now we need to export it from the second.js and we have to import that in app.js. So first I will write the export statement, export default second. Now I will import it in app.js, import second from second.js. That's it. So after importing, we have to add the second component in the div. So I will remove the second h1 text and I will add the second component. So less than symbol, component name, slash followed by the greater than symbol. Now let's see the output whether the second component is created or not. Here you can see the second component is created. Now we will see how to add styling for the second component. So we are discussing about the local style sheets. Now we need to create a separate file style sheet for the second component. So in the source folder, you have to create a separate style sheet with the name second.css. So in the second.js, we have one h1 text. Now we will add the h1 text styling in the second.css. So here I will add the styling h1. I will add the color to blue and the background color to yellow. Now let's see the output. Here you can see the styling is not applied till now because we have not imported the newly created style sheet in the related component. We have created the style sheet and we have written the styling in the second.css, but we have not imported the styling in the second.js. So if you import the style sheet only, then it will work. So now I will import the second.css in the component. So we have to write the import statement. Import. So I will write the file name second.css. So this is the second.css. I'm pressing Ctrl S. Now let's see the output. Now it should show the styling. Here you can see the styling applied successfully. The background color is yellow and the text color is blue. So like this we can add the separate styling sheets in the React.js. So you can add the styling in with the help of class names also. Here I will add the class name. So I will add the class name as A. Now we will add the styling using this class name. So here I will remove the h1 and I will add the style using the dot operator because we are adding style using class names dot A. So I will add the background color as red and the text color as green. Now let's see the output. Here you can see the style applied successfully. The background color is red and the text color is green. So like this way we can add the local styling in React.js. So first we have created the app.js component and we have added the styling to the elements in app.js components using the app.css. Afterwards we have created one more component in the source folder. That component is second.js, and for this second.js we have created the style sheet second.css. So in this we have written the styles for the second.js component elements. So after creating the style sheets, we have to import the style sheet in the component, related component. So then only the styles will be applied. So if you are not importing the style sheet, the style will not be applied. So thank you. See you in the next class.